After learning about preparation of ethers, now we can go for physical properties of ethers. So if we consider general formula for ethers, what is the general formula? ROR. Either the R groups will be identical or it will be different. So now if you go for that nature of that CO bond here in case of ethers, so it is said to be polar in nature. If CO bond is polar in nature means there will be electronegativity difference between carbon and oxygen. So it will be delta positive and it will be delta negative. Since there is a difference in electronegativity, polarity will be there in the molecule. Hence there will be net dipole moment in case of ethers. And in case if you consider their boiling points, so usually if you consider the ethers with respect to the comparable molecular mass of any alkanes, then usually they will have almost similar boiling points. So there will be not much difference with respect to their boiling point. But if you consider that particular ether with respect to comparable molecular mass of any particular alcohol, then there will be major difference between the boiling points of these two. Here you can find in case of ethers, the boiling point is lesser. In case of alcohols, that boiling point will be higher. So what is that reason behind this? Since in case of ethanol or in case of methanol or in this particular example, we can go for alcohols means there you can find the hydrogen bonding. But in case of these ethers, you don't find such hydrogen bonding. Hence, that boiling point will be comparatively lesser in case of ethers to that of the alcohols. And now if you say the solubility regarding alcohols, you know that alcohols are easily soluble in water. They are miscible with water due to the formation of hydrogen bonding with water molecule. Similarly, if you add ether to water, whether it is able to form bond with water. So here you can find, so it is one molecule of ether and here you can find two molecules of water. So oxygen can make two hydrogen bonds with neighboring water molecule. Therefore, it is able to make hydrogen bond with water molecule. So we can consider ethers are miscible with water. So they are miscible with water due to the formation of hydrogen bonding. So that is regarding physical properties of ethers. Now we can go for chemical properties of ethers. So here chemical properties of ethers, it is due to cleavage of CO bond. So now once ether shows the chemical properties because of breakage of bond between carbon and oxygen. So you should remember among other functional groups, if you compare with respect to these ethers, it is difficult to break the bond between carbon and oxygen in case of ethers. So we need to break this bond only under drastic conditions like high temperature. Now if you go for such reactions, those reactions of ethers which include the breakage of CO bond. So very first is, that is reaction of ethers with halogen acids. So halogen acids nothing but hydrogen halides like HBr, HI, HCl. So here you can consider the reactivity of HI will be more than that of HBr when compared to HCl. So now we can consider that reaction of ether with hydrogen halide or that acid. So we can say halogen acids. When ether is treated with halogen acid on heating at around 373 Kelvin, you are going to get the formation of alcohol as well as alkyl halide. So here you can make out R can combine with, along with, that is RO can club with hydrogen. So here there will be breakage of bond between this carbon present in R group and the oxygen. So here RO group can combine with H to form ROH, alcohol we can say, and one another R group will be combining with X to form RX. And now of course we can consider there are two conditions, based on that we can just decide the products. In case if ethers are made to react with hydrogen halides at 373 Kelvin, you will get alcohol as well as alkyl halide. But when ethers are made to react with excess, you just remember this, excess, if you are going to add excess of hydrogen halide, then ethers reacts with excess of hydrogen halide, then it results in the formation of alkyl halide as the only major product. So in the previous case you will get the mixture of alcohol and alkyl halide, but here in this case, in case of excess of hydrogen halide if you use, then you will get only alkyl halide as a major product. And if you take one simple example, on either side of this oxygen we can consider ethyl ethyl. Diethyl ether is the name of this compound. So when diethyl ether is made to react with hydrogen iodide, or when diethyl ether is heated with hydrogen iodide at 373 Kelvin, you will get the formation of ethanol and ethyl iodide. So here both are identical groups, therefore we can consider one will be ethanol, another one will be ethyl iodide. And in case if the same diethyl ether is made to react with excess of hydrogen iodide at 373 Kelvin, on heating you will get the formation of only that exclusive product C2H5I plus H2O. So here you can easily guess, in case of a moderate concentration of HI, you will get ethyl alcohol as well as ethyl iodide. But in case of excess of hydrogen iodide, you will get the formation of, that is one is ethyl iodide, again you will get the formation of ethyl iodide, and there will be separation of water molecule. And if you consider here there are identical alkyl groups, so you will get alcohol and iodide with the same identical alkyl groups, and here you will get similar type of product. But in case of mixed ethers, that is one side there is one alkyl group, another side different alkyl group, then how we are going to decide which will make iodide and which will make alcohol? So now we can go for such examples. So in this case, very first example what I have taken here, methyl ethyl ether. So it is ethyl methyl ether, common name. When ethyl methyl ether is made to react with hydrogen iodide at 373 Kelvin, among this methyl and ethyl, ethyl is said to be primary alkyl. It is primary alkyl group. Among methyl group and primary alkyl group, which is smaller one here, so that is methyl, by considering one methyl group, another alkyl, that is primary alkyl group, then iodide will usually form with smaller alkyl group, that is methyl iodide, and alcohol will club with ethyl group, hence you will get ethanol or ethyl alcohol. So that is in case of one group is methyl and the group is primary alkyl, that resultant iodide with methyl, that is methyl iodide. And in case if one side there is tertiary alkyl group, another side there is methyl group, then what resultant iodide will be? So that iodide will be clubbed with tertiary alkyl group but not with the methyl group. So here you can consider, so it is based on the carbocation, stability of carbocation here. So tertiary carbocation will be more stabilized when compared to methyl carbocation. Hence this carbocation can easily make the bond with iodine. So here it helps for the breakage of bond between tertiary carbon atom and oxygen. Hence the CH3 along with O combines with H to make CH3OH, and this tertiary carbon atom can make bond with iodine to make tertiary butyl iodide. So you can easily remember, if one is tertiary alkyl group, another one is methyl group, so iodide is formed along with the tertiary alkyl group. Got it? And in case if you use anhydrous hydrogen iodide, in that case, then you will get that interchange, that is reverse of this product. There you will get methyl iodide and tertiary butyl alcohol. But at normal condition, when it is made to react with or heated with hydrogen iodide, strong hydrogen iodide at 373 Kelvin, you will definitely get these products. And another example, here one side there is phenyl group, aromatic ring, other side there is alkyl group. In that case, what you can expect? So here you can guess, In case the C6H5 to the carbon there is a attachment of oxygen. This side to the alkyl group there is attachment of oxygen. Where do you find it is easy to break the bond either between the aromatic carbon and oxygen or carbon of alkyl group and oxygen? So you just remember, due to the attachment of oxygen to the benzene ring, there will be partial double bond character between the benzene ring and the oxygen. Therefore, you can consider there is a strong bondage between the oxygen and the phenyl group. Hence, you cannot break this bond. The bond will be broken here, that is between methyl group and oxygen or alkyl group and oxygen. Hence, we can consider that C6H5 along with O combines with H to make phenol, whereas other alkyl group can combine with iodide to make alkyl iodide. That is how you have to able to identify what type of iodide you will get. So, what type of alcohol you will get based on the nature of alkyl groups or aryl groups around the functional group in case of ethers. So, that is regarding the reaction of ethers with hydrogen halides, which includes the cleavage of bond between carbon and oxygen. The reactivity will be more with respect to hydrogen iodide in case of hydrogen halides. So, if we go for reaction of ethers with dilute H2SO4, that is, when ethers are treated with dilute sulfuric acid under certain pressure, so obviously you can think that it can easily undergo hydrolysis. So, now we can find here ROR. There will be cleavage of bond between carbon atom and oxygen atom. So, here if there is a breakage of bond between carbon and oxygen atom here, this RO group combines with one hydrogen atom to give ROH. Whereas hydroxyl group remaining in water molecule combines with this R group. So, it is also resulting in the formation of an alcohol. That is why when ethers are subjected for hydrolysis in the presence of or when they are treated with dilute sulfuric acid under pressure, you will get the formation of an alcohol. So, alcohol is the main product. If you consider one simple example, when diethyl ether is treated with dilute H2SO4, it will undergo hydrolysis to convert into ethyl alcohol, that is ethanol. So, diethyl ether is converting into ethanol. Next, if you go for the reaction of ethers with phosphorus halide, that is, which is that particular phosphorus halide? Phosphorus pentachloride, PCl5. When ethers are treated with on heating with phosphorus pentachloride, here also you can get the breakage of bond between carbon and the oxygen. So, that for one R group there will be attachment of Cl. So, you will get RCl. But here also there is a breakage of bond between oxygen and carbon. So, there is attachment of one more chlorine atom to this R dash group. Hence, you will get R dash Cl. So, both alkyl groups will get combined with Cl separately to give alkyl halide. And whereas this phosphorus along with oxygen combines with remaining chlorine atoms to give POCl3. That is why we can easily remember when ethers are treated with phosphorus pentachloride, you will definitely going to end up with alkyl halide. Here, if you start with diethyl ether, name the product obtained when diethyl ether is heated with phosphorus pentachloride. So, which is that major product you can expect? That is ethyl chloride. So, that is that major product obtained. And now we can say that there are two ethyl groups. So, here instead of writing separately, we can write it as 2 moles of ethyl chloride. So, that is reaction of ethers with phosphorus pentachloride. And next, lastly, if you come for halogenation, that is reaction of ethers with halogens like chlorination or bromination you can consider. Now, let me take particularly chlorination. So, now here I have taken two cases. So, in the first case chlorination in dark condition, In the second case, that is chlorination in the presence of sunlight. In the presence of sunlight. So, whenever you can consider when ether is made to react with chlorine in dark condition, you can consider to the oxygen atom, the carbon which is in direct contact. First carbon atom is said to be alpha, then second carbon is said to be beta. Here also alpha and it is beta. Now, if you say this is alpha prime, beta prime. Now, we can distinguish on either side. So, in the dark condition, only the hydrogen atom at alpha carbon atom, one hydrogen atom at alpha carbon atom gets substituted by chlorine. When that H combines with Cl, it will give off HCl. Similarly, another chlorine molecule will react with this hydrogen atom. So, you will get the formation of alpha dash dichloro, alpha dash dichloro diethyl ether, because it is derivative of diethyl ether. Hence, we can name it as alpha dash dichloro diethyl ether. And now, once you can say it is 2 moles of HCl will be obtained. And if the same chlorination is done in the presence of sunlight, then each and every hydrogen atom present in the ether will be substituted by chlorine. That is why all the hydrogen atoms are replaced by chlorine atoms. If it is C2H5O, C2H5, then diethyl ether on chlorination in the presence of sunlight gives all the hydrogen atoms C2 instead of C2H5, C2Cl5. Oh, once again C2 instead of writing H5, we will write Cl5. Plus, there will be removal of all the hydrogen atoms will be combining with chlorine to give hydrogen chloride molecules. That is why diethyl ether on chlorination in the presence of sunlight result in the product, which is that product perchloro diethyl ether. What is the meaning of perchloro? For each and every hydrogen atom there is replacement with chlorine. Hence, we can give that term perchloro diethyl ether. So, these are the reactions with respect to ethers due to the cleavage of CO bond. Lastly, we can go for electrophilic substitution reactions of phenolic ethers. Now, if you take one simple example, so for phenolic ethers, which is that example? Anisole. So, what is that anisole? So, to the benzene ring, if there is attachment of OCH3 group, then it is called as anisole. On either side of oxygen, you can find one side there is phenyl group, another side there is alkyl group. So, it is example for phenolic ether. So, it is also named as methoxybenzene. Now, there are different electrophilic substitution reactions like in benzene or chlorobenzene. You can find for this anisole also. There are various electrophilic substitution reactions. Like we can go for halogenation. Like particularly we have taken bromination. Then Friedel-Crafts reaction, that is Friedel-Crafts alkylation by taking methyl chloride, and Friedel-Crafts acylation by taking acetyl chloride. Then nitration by taking nitrating mixture, that is mixture which contains constant H2SO4 and HNO3. And now we can go for these electrophilic substitution reactions one by one. So, which is that first electrophilic substitution reaction, that is halogenation. So, these are all very simple reactions even to remember, but they are important even for examination. Now, once this anisole is treated with bromine in acetic acid medium, then at ortho position or at para position, hydrogen atom can interact with Br to give HBr. Then that hydrogen is replaced by one more Br. Hence, you can get the substitution of bromine either at ortho position or at para position. Hence, you will get two types of the products. One is para-bromo-anisole, another one is ortho-bromo-anisole. Now, we can easily guess among para substituted product and ortho substituted product, which is more stable? That is absolutely para bromoanisole is said to be more stable and it is said to be major product compared to ortho bromoanisole. And of course we can go for, that is Friedel-Crafts reaction by considering alkylation. We are going to substitute alkyl group. Which is that alkyl group here? Methyl. So if you start with methyl chloride, so when anisole is made to react with methyl chloride in the presence of anhydrous aluminum chloride, then methyl group will get substituted either at para position or at ortho position. So or at ortho position. So hence you will get two types of the products. Which are those products? One is 4-methoxy. Now if we consider this as the parent name, toluene as the parent name, by considering the CH3 group attached to benzene, then OCH3 group can be considered as substituent. So 4-methoxy toluene and another one is 2-methoxy toluene. So therefore you will get both ortho substituted product and para substituted product. As usual, you can easily guess here also para substituted product will be major product, whereas this ortho substituted product will be minor product. So on alkylation, the anisole is converting into methoxytoluene. Next, in case of, that is same Friedel-Crafts reaction, if you are subjecting it for acylation by taking the help of acetyl chloride, for example CH3COCl, we are going to add acetyl group to the benzene ring, hence that is acyl group to the benzene, hence it is named as acylation. Now we can say that when acetyl chloride is interacting with this aromatic ring either at ortho position or at para position, now we can easily guess H at ortho position and H at para position can be easily combined with Cl and it will be removed off in the form of HCl. That is why which is get substituted at the ortho or para position, that is COCH3 will get substituted either at para position or at ortho position. Therefore anisole on acylation by using acetyl chloride in the presence of anhydrous aluminum chloride catalyst, we will get two products. One is major product, that is 4-methoxy. We can consider this as the substituent, 4-methoxy acetophenone. Another one 2-methoxy acetophenone. So the first one is the para position substituted, hence it is the major product. And similarly, if you go for nitration of anisole, when anisole is subjected for nitration, when it is treated with mixture of sulfuric acid and nitric acid, then you will end up with the formation of two products. One is major product, another one is minor product. So para nitroanisole is major product, whereas ortho nitroanisole is minor product. That is how we can easily think about, or even you can easily remember regarding the electrophilic substitution reaction of anisole, halogenation, Friedel-Crafts alkylation, Friedel-Crafts acylation and even nitration. In all these cases you can consider, that is in all these cases the major product will be para product, para substituted product, and ortho substituted product will be minor product. So these are the chemical reactions with respect to ethers. So far we have learnt all the chemical properties of alcohols, phenols and ethers in this chapter. So whichever the reactions comes under either preparation or chemical properties, they are more important from examination point of view, that is both for theory as well as for objectives. You just keep revising all the preparations as well as the chemical properties of alcohols, phenols and ethers.